A lot of mock draft action happening here on NFL Live. Todd McShay's latest mock from yesterday, something really interesting there. At the end of the first round, you see the Lions selecting quarterback Desmond Ridder. So let's dive into that. Ridder finished his college career with 44 wins, third most by a quarterback in FBS history. Big part of that was how he performed against the blitz. Over his last 2 seasons at Cincinnati, Ridder threw 28 touchdowns, just 1 interception when he was blitzed. Those 28 touchdown passes led the FBS. Dan, there is something that Ridder does that no other quarterback does as well as him in this class. It's time to go. He's up. He's ready.
He's got the best quarterbacking tape. That doesn't mean I think he's the best or the most impressive. That means that he's got the best pre-snap and post-snap operation. Getting to the line of scrimmage, understanding what the defense is doing. Maybe it's getting in and out of run checks. Maybe it's changing your protection. You got to communicate all that to everybody on your football team. And then that's that pre-snap. And then post-snap, can you operate the same way you did pre-snap to make sure everybody's on the same page to take advantage of the defense? This clip versus Indiana is a perfect example. Okay, so pre-snap operation. I want everyone to pay attention to this edge defender right now. As Desmond Ridder is going through his cadence right there, he's going to see this edge defender start to walk to the line of scrimmage. That's clue number 1. Now, when that happens, watch what he does. Walks to the line of scrimmage and starts to go through this communication process. I love this. He's going to the line of scrimmage and starts walking to the right. Why is he doing that? They're playing on the road versus Indiana. It's going to be a loud stadium. You got to make sure that everybody on the right side of your offensive line is hearing your communication. Now he's going to come back to the left side, and I love this process. Look at how he's pointing. He's pointing to his offensive line, not only verbally communicating, but saying, hey, fellas, these 2 guys, they're going to be blitzers. I've changed the protection. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen. Part of this pre-snap communication. Now he's going to go, hey, tailback, pay attention. Here comes that blitzer. I want you to be ready. There's that pre-snap part of this. Now post-snap. What's going to happen is this. This is his number 1 receiver, okay? This is Alec Pierce, his slot receiver. You're going to get a triangle coverage. You see these 3 defenders? They're playing 3 over 2. That's not a good place to go to the football. You got those edge pressure guys. I told you that he's going to send his offensive line, right guard, all the way to the left tackle. He's going to send 4 guys to those blitzers. I've changed the protection. I'm diagnosing the coverage. Now the question is, do you see the coverage? I told you the triangle, so where's the vacancy that you can go with the football? It's in the middle of the field. Look at all that space that as a quarterback, if you have diagnosed the pressure and you've taken advantage of the opportunity to go attack, can you see it? And then now I want to know, can you make the throw as you are about to get your sternum split in half by this defender that your offensive line doesn't pick up? Can you still make that throw to that in-breaking tight end and put it right on his chest for a huge completion? There's that pre-snap operation and the communication. There's the post-snap operation. When I watch Desmond Ridder, the guy that I think he reminds me most of is Alex Smith. Really smart, really accurate, a little bit mechanical, and a sneakily very good athlete. The boys from Athens, Ohio, no, Desmond Ridder is rising up the draft boards because of how good he plays quarterback up top.
Yeah, that communication makes sense when we heard so much about his interviews at the Combine even. And Matt, we showed your tweet before the break saying that Ridder could move into the top 20. Why is this narrative changing around this quarterback?
Yeah, Laura, I think a lot of it is some of what Dan showed. This is the time of year where you're not convincing us that you're a good football player. You're convincing us that your character, your leadership, your football IQ, your athleticism at the Combine, those are the tools right now that a player can really use to move up draft boards, and I believe that's what Desmond Ridder's doing. As you said, we've all heard about how good the Combine interviews were, or him coming in saying, hey, I'm going to take the job of a veteran if you draft me. I love that confidence when you match it with the athletic tools, the 50 games in college as well. He's experienced, he's smart. I think we saw this year him get better with some of the accuracy issues that plagued his tape in 2020, but despite the fact that his offensive line, quite frankly, was not very good this year. So I think that's why teams are starting to really like Desmond Ridder, especially if we see Malik Willis and Kenny Pickett go off the board in the top 10. Then I think top 15 and even top 20 is very realistic.
Wow.
Yeah, when you look at a guy like Desmond Ridder, it's about the tape, right? You go and look at the tape and you want to see that the meetings, right, or the conversations match what you saw on the football field. And you would look at what Dan was able to diagram about how he was pre-snap, how that also processed once he had the football in his hand. That's what you want quarterbacks to do. And now what teams have to do is visualize him in their building, in their locker room, on their field with some of the players that they have around them. Is Desmond Ridder going to become this all-pro caliber quarterback? I don't believe that, because I believe a certain skill set goes in that. But can he be a very good professional quarterback, a very good leader in the locker rooms in the NFL and play for a decade? Absolutely. And I believe that's what people are seeing when they get opportunities to sit down with him and pick his brain a bit.
You know, I would just like to remind everyone, as the narratives around these quarterbacks change. Remember last year, especially around this time, and then in the lead up to the draft, we thought that the 49ers had traded up to that 3rd overall pick to get Mac Jones. They end up taking Trey Lance. So much can change between now and the time of the draft.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.